morning, everybody. We're here with Coffee with the Cowboys, day 7. Thank you for all joining us at the NFR. We're back here with Adrian Buckaroogirl. She'll be playing with us later this afternoon at 3. We also have Kinney Harrell here, who is at the Boy Gaming Shootout, so be sure to watch for him. And we have Grace Nelson, who was just all around here at the Rookie Banquet this last year. How is everybody doing?
Great.
Awesome. Great.
Glad to be here.
Well, I'd like to start with you a little bit, Grace. Tell us a little bit why you're in Vegas.
I was presented yesterday at the Rookie Banquet with all of the rookies of the PRCA. And tonight I'll be at the Gold Buckle ceremony, being presented there and getting a jacket. It's nice to be here.
Now, this was part of the Little Britches. Little Britches and Resist all kind of merged together and formed this partnership. And this is the second year they're doing this, correct?
Yes.
So how important is that for you as far as building yourself up? Because you eventually want to go pro rodeo as well.
It's good exposure for me. I get to meet a lot of people that are in this, and I get to meet people that have been doing this for a long time, and I think that it'll help me when I hopefully eventually make it here to know people and know what I'm doing.
Well, and you're quite the traveler right now as well. You're really pushing the rodeo agenda. You're originally from Minnesota. You're down in Texas right now, learning the ropes and rodeoing and going to jackpots. Tell us a little bit about that.
I am working and training with Marty Becker and Heidi Becker, and I pretty much work all day and ride horses, and when I have time, I do schoolwork.
But school is important, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You seem very young to be working so early in training. How did you get involved with that?
I did a lot of clinics with Marty Becker this summer, and they invited me down to do more training and working to get better at the rodeo, and I found myself down in Texas.
Now, Kinney, you're a veteran here in Vegas.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're a Texas native. Now, did you have a similar program like this growing up? How did you go?
Our parents hauled us all to the junior rodeos, and then the team roping events, calf roping, team roping, and kind of a step stool. And then when I got old enough to buy my permit and card and stuff, I just kind of started easing off out in there.
Now, you come from a family of ranchers, and your brother ropes
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well.
Yes, ma'am.
How important is that? Because I came from a family of ropers, and that seemed to be the thing that we did. Every day after school, we went and roped.
I don't ever remember any of us not having a rope or a horse within arm's length, it seems like. For us, it was probably extremely crucial. I mean, just like second nature as far as with a horse, or try to be second nature with a rope. Yes, ma'am. I'd say it's very important for us.
Do you have any early memories like that? Any funny stories growing up?
Oh, I don't know. I do remember, I hardly ever remember not being around horses, and I don't know. We got caught several times down at the horse pens when our parents weren't around, trying to catch the horses and get on the horses with no saddles, no bridles, no nothing. We got a couple of whippings over that.
Well, you're a pretty handy guy. You rope pretty much anything. I think you've roped some donkeys and you've roped some...
Oh, quite a bit of silly stuff, yes, ma'am.
What's your favorite kind of off-the-wall thing that you've done like that?
Oh, when I was pretty young, I think 14 or 15, we were living in New Mexico for taking care of my dad was running a yearling operation, and I roped a little cinnamon bear, and he kept taking my rope off, and I finally got him roped, and I did not know what to do with him. And so we just kind of hung out, and we were both really, really tired, and then I knew my parents wouldn't believe me, but I finally had to go get them because the sun was running out, and then I didn't get a whipping over that because I was going to get a whipping because they did not believe me at first, and then finally I took them up there and back to the cave, and they found the rope and the bear and all that stuff.
So what did you do with them? Make them a pet?
No, I left him alone. It was just, I don't know. I really don't know what was going through my head. 14 or 15 probably, yes, ma'am.
That's a song.
Do you have any wild stories like that, Adrian? I mean, you used to live in a teepee.
I think I tried to rope a couple elk one time with my sister. We were out doctoring yearlings one time when we were in Nevada, and we were both on colts. And I was on a 3-year-old, and he was like, "Nope, we're not getting close to those suckers." And we've tried to rope pigs out in California. I think probably roping goats is probably the most I've done. which is nowhere near roping a cinnamon bear. That's pretty crazy. That's fantastic. I think that is a song.
I don't know about that.
You're an inspiration now, Kinney. You're
I
going to
don't
be
know
in
about
country music. You're everywhere. What do you think about those roping? That's a little bit of a different rack than you're used to roping. What do you think about that?
An elk? I don't know. You're pretty talented if you can get around one of them.
We got pretty close to them, but every time we get close enough to throw a loop, they would kind of duck around, and my colt would be like, nope, 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 wah, wah, wah. We got done, and my sister was like, we're not telling anybody about that again. I'm like, I'm telling everybody. You missed. I just couldn't get close to him.
That's really good.
Now, you have quite an interesting Western background. You've started riding broncs, which is not typically something that you know about women, and you do fashion. I think you're such an inspiration for young girls. How did you get involved with all of that?
You're very sweet. Well, first off, thank you very much. I'm officially retired right now from ranch bronc riding because I think my mother would probably just kill me if I got on another one here here right now. I got into a kind of a bad accident a couple years ago, and that kind of put the head injury kind of put a little bit of a downtime on the bronc riding. But I rode ranch broncs for quite a few years and just really enjoyed it. You know, it's different from PRCA saddle broncs, which, you know, you're in an approved association saddle, and then with ranch bronc riding, you're just riding in your working saddle. So yeah, everything that you doctor on or rope yearlings on or anything, you'd be, you know, riding your bucking horses in that. And that's fun to me because it's a little bit more kind of, it's not so much about precision, it's a little bit more of just kind of stay on, which is good for me because I'm not a very precise person. But, you know, we were on ranches in northern Nevada, and for me, everybody was always super into the horsemanship. My sister is an amazing horsewoman and stuff, and I always liked it, but I'd rather get on a bucking horse than I would try and make a bridle horse. So
You like things a little bit wilder.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm like, does anybody want to go skydiving while we're in Vegas? It would be so much fun. Come on, let's go.
Now, I went skydiving once. I thought that
Did
was
you?
pretty fun.
Was it fun?
I don't know if I would ever go back.
See, the doctors after my last, you know, knock on the head won't let me go. So I'm waiting for it. I'm like, I'm gonna sneak off.
I'm a little bit worried it's one of those things where you only get so many good ones. And I think, okay, I got one out of the way.
Skydiving, you don't want one bad one. You don't want any bad ones. No, and you know, the fashion thing was totally random. I was actually talking with a couple people yesterday and saying, you know, I was a tomboy growing up. I didn't wear makeup until I was 16 maybe, really and truly, which obviously I'm making up for lost time with. But it kind of happened by accident. I started blogging about being on the road, riding bucking horses and doing music, and it just kind of happened. And I don't stick to, you know, trends or anything like that. I obviously just throw on what I want, and I wear a lot of vintage stuff from the 40s and 50s, and just kind of keep piling stuff on until there's no more room.
Now, Kinney, you've got some younger children. You have a younger daughter, correct?
Yes, I do. She's 4.
Are you ready for this?
Oh my
Makeup?
gosh. I don't know. I tell you what I did like. You didn't start wearing makeup till you were 16, and I think that was awesome.
I lived in a teepee all through middle school and high school and wore moccasins. Seriously, I think that's the best way to raise girls, and then they get older, and then they can get into it.
Did your dad keep the teepee? Can I just send my...
Come, send her out here. We'll go trap, and we'll go hang out and rope. It'll be fun. We won't do anything with lipstick.
I think that's awesome. That's very impressive. Yes.
Now, talking a little bit, you mentioned horsemanship. I think horsemanship is so important, especially at this high level, especially with the ranching. Tell us a little bit, Grace, about the horses that you've been running.
I've been running a 6-year-old that has been running since she was 3. She tries hard, she loves what she does, and she is spoiled to death.
I've heard that about those barrel horses.
Yes. She gets worked on by magna wave therapy on a weekly basis, and chiropractor, the whole works.
Now, with the training, and you've just recently moved down to Texas to do that, you get to be on a lot of different horses. Have you figured out the style, the ones that grew with you the best?
Yeah, I've been riding a lot of younger horses. I'm not the type of person that likes a really fast, go-y horse. I like one that will stick with you and do what you want, not what it wants.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like to be the boss. Kinney, on the professional level, that is such a huge thing. That can make or break somebody's season is the horsepower you have beneath you. Tell us a little bit about the horses you've been riding recently.
All three of my best horses are horses that my parents raised. The horse that I have now is 18. I've been riding him since I've been competing on him at the pro rodeos, I think, since he was 4. And then I've got full siblings to him. And they're Colonel Freckles and Blue Valentine bred. And that's where the ones that I ride are. That's where they come from, is raised. And I have had some really good horses that I've bought and competed on and stuff. And it seems like I've had better luck with the horses that I've had them since they were young and started them myself and kind of adapted and molded them to fit me, because I'm not the best horseman.
Well, 18 years old and still going hard on the professional trail, how do you keep your horses in shape and ready for that? Because that takes a lot on this traveling.
It does. When I'm at home, I hardly ever practice on my good horse. I mean, he knows what his job is. I just try to keep him in shape and try to keep him as sound as I possibly can. I think you got to have one that likes it or is extremely tough. And unfortunately for me, he's been a really, really good and tough one for me.
Well, and going to that Colonel Freckles and Blue Valentine, we've seen a lot of those horses coming from cross-promoting from the cutting industry and from the reining industry. Are you looking at any of those industries for the next up-and-comer?
I think that both of those are great industries that kind of look for something that's young and that has a lot of raw talent that has a big heart and a lot of try that can transition over into roping. Something like that from that area, it'd be an easy transition into the roping.
And what are you looking for a pro rodeo horse?
I want something that's, for me, my big deal is speed. I've always been very fortunate. My good horses have had a lot of speed and a cow and can read a situation. That's kind of what I look for.
And I know it's so different when you go winter rodeos. You have these big indoors, and you get into other areas, and you have some smaller coliseums. You have some big outdoor pins like Pendleton. Are you looking for a couple different horses, or do you find one that fits that?
I've been extremely fortunate. My horse, Taz, he fits nearly every situation, from the finals to Cheyenne. I mean, he adapted really well. The next one I have underneath him, I'd call him my second streeter. He tends to do better in a little bit longer scores, a little bit more open arena where everything happens a little further, closer to the middle than it does like right outside the chutes. It takes him a little bit longer to gather up and to make the corner and stuff.
Now, Grace, that's also a huge thing is the size of the pin and the ground for barrel horses. What are you looking for? Are you switching out between those two different setups?
Yes. When I high school rodeo and Little Britches rodeo, you can't really decide what the ground is. You kind of have to roll with it. I think that my horse pretty much will run in anything. She loves the mud more than I do, and she likes perfect ground. She can run in anything, and I think, like you said, like the cutting industry is really good to get a horse from, and that's where my horse is from. And she has a big heart and tries hard.
Wonderful. I'd like to jump back over to you, Kinney. You were roping this last year with 2015 world champion Aaron Sinigini. Who are you roping with this year?
I'm going to start, the 2017 rodeo season's already started. Funny how that works out. So I've already been to a few for the 2017 with Kelsey Parchman, originally from Tennessee, and he lives right there around Steve Mill area now. So that's who I'm going to rope with.
When you get on that pro level, I mean, everybody is so talented. They've got the horsepower and they've got the means to go down the road, but not every partnership works well. How do you find the right partner for you?
I think it's kind of like, dating and finding the one that you think you're going to marry. I don't know. You have to have some kind of chemistry in and outside the arena. There's so many guys that do rope and compete great, but you do have to have some kind of chemistry together and be able to get along in and outside of the arena. It's grueling. It's tough.
Do you typically like to stick with one partner for the whole season? Or, I mean, when you get in that summer stretch, you're going to a bunch of rodeos. You can't always coordinate.
Right. Sometimes you have to bounce around a little bit depending on, who's getting up wherever. But I tend to try to stick with one partner as long as I can. As long as, we can win and have a chance.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, what's next for you guys? I mean, where are you going next after this?
after this, I'm going to go back to training and hopefully make it to high school nationals and Little Britches nationals and qualify for those. And then I hope to go to some American qualifiers and just keep rolling and maybe go to some futurities with a 3-year-old I got.
And we'd love to see you in Arlington. That would be wonderful.
That would be great.
And Kinney, you were already talking about the 2017 season. Where should we be looking for you?
I think the RN, and then I think there's a American qualifier right after that for us, and Odessa, Denver, Rapid City, Fort Worth. They're all just starts right over.
And Adrian, you're kind of a wandering spirit. Where are we going to be going next?
I kind of never settle down, quite frankly. I think I said yesterday, I get home and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go again. What now? So when I get back home from Vegas, I graduate in a few months. So I'll be graduating from college, which is exciting. So I'll be doing a ton of work at home, and then I'll just be getting back on the road in the springtime. So it'll probably just, until then, I'll be probably doing school, trying to get my ponies rode, write some new music. We're going to the studio in January for a new album, and we'll be hitting the road again. So it'll be good.
Well, exciting. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us with Coffee with the Cowboys. Come by at 3:30 this afternoon. We have Trick Pony that will be here autographing, and we'll have Buckaroogirl doing some songs. So thank you so much.